Hello everybody, welcome back to the PKF. I'm your host Preston. I have another exciting video for you today, set in the Speccing Suite, aka my home library. It's a little too professional to call it a Speccing Suite, but we'll go with it. Today I actually ordered another vehicle, believe it or not. This is sort of a surprise, even to myself really. Decided to order a 2022 Ram TRX. So this video, kind of like the last one I did with the 392 Rubicon, I'm going to be going through sort of the speccing process, the options I went with, and the thought process. Let's get into it. If you haven't watched my last video, it was actually on ordering a 392 Rubicon Wrangler. You're probably like, this guy has lost his mind. What is he doing ordering up a TRX now? I kind of thought the same thing, to be honest. But you might not have heard, actually, over the last couple weeks, Ram, Dodge, Stellantis, whatever you want to call the conglomerate now, actually announced that the Hellcat engine, the infamous Hellcat engine, is going to be no more, believe it or not. And supposedly it's due to government fines. I won't get into politics here, but this is sort of the last hurrah for the Hellcat motor for the 2022 TRX. I think this is the Hellcat motor first came out, of course, in the the Dodge Charger back in, I believe it was 2017. It's sort of become sort of a running joke between car enthusiasts and even people at the company. They're, why not throw it into a Chrysler Pacifica van and all this crazy stuff? But regardless of what you think about the motor, I mean, it's the fact that you have access to 700 plus horsepower at the price point that we're looking at. You can see just a base TRX for 2022 is right around 74. For 21, it was right around 70. So there isn't much out there, or much more out there in the market, that allows you to get into this type of power range for the price. The other one I can think of off the top of my head is, of course, the Shelby GT500, which you have 760. And I think you're right around a starting price around 70,000 as well. So very good value, American muscle, sort of into the mainstream market. Of course, 10, 15 years ago, to get 700 plus horsepower, you have to be paying hundreds of thousands of dollars. And of course, it would be your Italian supercars, Lambo, Ferrari, etc. But anyway, because this is sort of the last hurrah, I figured I got to experience this thing. I have to own one before they go out. And this is really the swan song for this motor. And I just think the TRX is such an impressive truck. I actually owned a Gen 2 Raptor prior, so I thought, why not try the rival this time? So let's go ahead and get into it. Much like the Jeep video, there isn't too much you can pick from. Now the configurator, the dealer that I ordered it from is Dick Scott Ram in Plymouth, Michigan. The configurator that the dealer has access to is a little bit different than the sort of the general publics, and one reason being they're only showing this level 1 equipment group, and that doesn't really matter to me right now because I actually didn't really want to go much higher than this. I was actually thinking about ordering a base truck, believe it or not. My Gen 2 Raptor, if any of you are familiar with sort of the order codes, there was 800A, 801, and 802, and I had an 800A Raptor, believe it or not. It had cloth seats. They weren't even heated or anything, but I just sort of like the stripped out rally truck kind of feel, and that's sort of what I was going with this. But I did decide, just to make it a little bit more daily drivable friendly, a little bit of the creature comforts in here, I did do the level 1 equipment group. But other than that, I did not do too much, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. The black was pretty cool. I actually went billet silver, and I did that for a specific reason. That being, my 392 Rubicon is going to be the new Zenith Silver Metallic, which is the launch color for the Grand Cherokee. I wanted to get billet initially on the 392 Rubicon. However, they discontinued it, and it's now Zenith. So, but this is about as close to Zenith as you can get. So I'm going to have two silver sort of SRT-esque vehicles. So I think it'll be kind of cool with these two in the garage together. I originally did the exterior graphics by Mopar. As you can see here, it gives you the black TRX logo sort of on the the upper side of the bed here. However, speaking to the sales guy today, he said that this was a late order item, and it would probably push production of the truck back, which is just much like the Jeep video. If you haven't checked that out, I'll put a link in the description. I wanted to get the lower body decal package on the Jeep, and they weren't able to print the sticker. So there's something going on with Stellantis and their sticker production or printers or whatever. But I thought this kind of added sort of a cool look, and it reminds you that it's the TRX. If, you know, as a general, I guess, civilian walking around, you don't necessarily recognize the TRX as a TRX, but most people, you know, car enthusiasts are going to know immediately with those wider fender flares, and a little bit more so than the Rebel, but it doesn't necessarily stand out enough. So I wanted to give it a little bit of that, you know, model trim look. But nevertheless, I actually did delete it, and I think I might add a graphic aftermarket. I haven't decided yet, but I want to get the truck as soon as possible, so I actually removed that graphic. So it's just going to be that plain silver, and maybe it's for the better. You know, it gives it a little bit cleaner line and cleaner look. So went with that. I skipped the hood graphics as well. Didn't do trailer tow mirror. I'm not really going to be towing. This is going to be much of an off-road kind of rig vehicle, much like the Jeep. So I'll probably take this up to the dunes up north in Michigan with the Jeep. Do that in pairs with my brother. So that should be fun. I just went with the base wheels as well, just the black wheels. I think this is enough. The beadlock capable are pretty cool, but I think for $1,900, I don't really think they look much better. I'm never going to really run the true beadlock. You can still run, like, you know, I could put 37s on these fine, and it's going to be enough capability for me. So I think it's a nice clean design. The color, the way that it shows up on the configurator as well, there will be much more contrast, I think, between the wheels and the actual exterior paint color when it shows up in real life. This makes it look much more like a muted gray. The billet silver in real life, if you haven't seen one, it really does pop much better, in my opinion, with the sort of black accents that come with the TRX. You can see it's got the black TRX badge back there, Ram logo, 4x4, etc. It's a much cleaner contrast, in my opinion, with the silver. But it looks almost granite crystal on the configurator. Didn't do the tire carrier. As I said, this is pretty much a stripper build, other than that level 1 trim pack. And let's just go back. You can pause on the video if you want. You can kind of take a look what's on here. Gives you a nice sort of array of options. I think for $3,500 is pretty good value. Basically gives you leather, of course, power seats. They're heated. You get a heated steering wheel and stuff like that. And the body color, these would be black plastic without this equipment level. You can go through that yourself. I don't need to drone on about it, but just some general stuff that makes it a bit more comfortable in day-to-day use. So let's go ahead and continue with the build. Doesn't give you much of an option with the level 1. I mean, you get black leather. It's nice enough. You can do the 360. Like, we can take a look. It's pretty similar to the 392 Rubicon here. Although the new Rams, this generation, they did hit it out of the park. Sort of the badge in there. So it's a pretty nice affair in here. Nothing too crazy. I didn't get the sunroof either, actually. All pretty familiar Hellcat SRT-esque interior here. If you've been in a Demon or any real Hellcated product, if we can say that, this all looks kind of similar here with performance pages and all that good stuff. So didn't get any of this stuff either. It's got a rear backup camera. It's really all I need. I don't really need any of this. I don't really like, honestly, this is just a personal opinion, I don't like cars that drive themselves. I just like to get into them. I'll figure it out. I don't need to pay, $1,000 plus whatever it is dollars with all these features. I'll figure it out. That's pretty much it. This isn't really that exciting of a video compared to the Jeep probably for a lot of you, but this is my 2022 Ram TRX. Again, billet silver. Didn't really go with any of these options. I just wanted something sort of a base that I could perhaps build from, turn it into sort of a Baja rally type truck. Standard, it comes with a lot of obviously awesome options and capability. So I really just wanted to keep it somewhat basic. I almost didn't even do the level 1 pack, as I said. I was very happy with my 800A Raptor. That was I think it was a The only real option it had was just the crew cab 4-door on my Raptor. It was like a 57-ish sticker, and of course that was the 3.5 EcoBoost. This has the you're paying for the motor, of course, in the chassis with this, but I think that's great. You don't want to go too crazy with these, in my opinion, because you have so much capability, turnkey. You know, a 74 sticker TRX is just as capable as a 96,000 sticker ignition orange TRX. So in my opinion, unless you're really looking for collectability or it's just your one vehicle, to me it makes a lot more sense to get sort of a mid-level or lower level one of these trucks. It's, to me, I'm not buying a truck to be a Rolls Royce. I'm buying the truck to, plow through the snow and mud, off-road, dirt roads, etc. So that's sort of my thought process with that. So I don't really want any of these normal, parking aid and stuff like that. It's just not for me, but it's good to know that you can order it if you want. Final thoughts, summing up, why did I go with the TRX? Number one, it's being discontinued, as I mentioned. Number two, the residuals are really strong. Obviously we're in a crazy market right now. You could say that about a lot of different vehicles, but the market is super, super hot for performance SUVs, number one, and then really right along with it are these big performance, big engine performance trucks. And the Raptor, if you've looked, just take a look at the market. The Gen 2s are super strong. 40, 50,000 mile Gen 2 Raptors are still in the 60,000s for a well option one. And last I checked, one of the lowest TRXs on the market, pre-owned, 13, 14,000 miles, they're still in the 80s. So I'm going to be in very good shape residually on this truck. You can see it's a 78 sticker. Could probably enjoy this for at least a year or two, put some decent amount of miles on it and really get out of it strong. So I think as a value proposition, it's crazy to say that a $78,000 pickup truck is good value, but when you're thinking about residuals and things like that, of course I should mention absolutely abysmal gas mileage. You're not buying this for the gas mileage, of course. You're going to be seeing single digits if you're really pushing this thing for what it is. But I do have a good friend of mine who he has over 20,000 miles on his now, and he'll get 13 or 14 if he's just kind of driving it lightly, but it's kind of hard to keep your foot out of it, as he says. And I drove it yesterday, and I was very, very impressed. And it sort of finally pushed me into getting one of these finally. I've been talking about it for a couple years since they released it, and I wanted to have a go at it while I still could. So should be kind of a fun pairing, 2 PEDs in a pod with the 392 Rubicon. Should be here around, I'm hearing, between 3 to 5 months max. It could be even sooner. They didn't really have anything solid to give me, but hopefully it'll be here before the Jeep, and I'll be able to sort of enjoy it before the Jeep comes here. And I'll have hopefully an update video on this, and I'll have an update with the 392 Rubicon Dukes. I'm actually doing something special with that, which I'll talk about soon. So thanks again for tuning in to the PCAF, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.